This is a video for how to go about creating a fully dimensioned drawing of number 8 from your 20 ISOs project in Fusion 360. We will double click on number 8 and go ahead and load it into our graphics window. We'll go to Design, Drawing, from Design. We have our PLTW title block. We will say OK. Now once the drawing sheet loads again, we're going to want to go to a scale of 1 to 3. Now you can choose whatever you want, but just generally for my classes, we're going to stick with that scale. I'm going to place that front view, and I'm going to say OK. I'm going to go to projected view. We will project a top, side, and ISO view. We're going to right click and say OK. Double click on our blue line. I'm going to go up to shaded, say close. So for now, we want to make sure we look at our width dimensions. And so in our top view up here, we want to decide if we want to say that we're only going to place this 6 in our top view, because otherwise we would have to drag through the object. Like, we want to avoid doing this. So in my top view, I think I'm just going to go ahead and place that 6 in my top view like this. See if it snaps out. It's not going to snap out for me for some reason right there. Let's keep with that 5. I said 6 earlier because I was zoomed out. That's a 5. We can go ahead and put our 8 dimension right here and snap it into place. Now we could have, for the sake of discussion, said, you know, this is 8, and we could have, we'll eventually place a depth dimension up here, but we could have come in and said, you know, we want to talk about an angular dimension. If like this is a nice 45-degree angle, we could have just said at 5 you cut off a 45-degree angle. You know, there's two different types of dimensions, size and location, and our location dimension of this point right here is, from the width dimension, is 5. We'll find the depth dimension here in a second. So what we'll do from here is we're going to go ahead and place our depth dimension for this object right here, and that's going to be 2. Theoretically speaking, we could draw for ourselves in, you know, just a square that's, you know, 8 by whatever the distance is back here once we cut off that angle and find the full distance. So in this case, let's go up to dimension, and we can go ahead and see that that, you know, depth, full depth dimension, excuse me, is 5. Now the question is, do we want to drag across and say that the full depth should go on this side? If we zoom in, we're going to notice we don't really get that gap that we wanted from there. So do we leave that 5 there and kind of make this look like it's part of the object? I can go ahead and leave that up to you. I'll accept either of them. But at the same time, we can see that this is a cut off chamfer right here off of this object. Now, for me, I would kind of prefer to put this over on the opposite side. We want to maintain adjacency at all times unless we otherwise cannot avoid it. Remember, for depth, the depth dimension would either go on the side view or the top view. Where my mouse is going right now, this is what adjacency would mean for depth. I'm going to keep that 5 right there. Our next dimension will be for height. And, you know, we can do several different things for the height dimension here in the front view. We have 2 different heights we can get without dragging through the object. So this one down, the small vertical line down here, is what I want to keep away from dragging through. You know, in previous videos, we did drag through the object, but it was only where we could not avoid it. So I'm going to tap on this and get rid of that because we don't want to keep that. We want to place that dimension over here in our side view because we're going to maintain adjacency and stay within our dimensioning rules. We're going to go up to dimension. We'll go ahead and do the full height of the object in the front view. I'm going to drag out 2 snaps for that. And this line right here, we're going to go ahead and place in our front view. That is a location dimension. So we can tell by looking at this object that it is 8 by 6 by 5. That is our size dimensions, and our location dimensions for our various points are totally equally placed, and we have not been redundant. We have not said anything twice. We have maintained adjacency, and we have not dragged through an object. There are no hidden lines, so we don't have to worry about not dimensioning to a hidden line in this case. We are going to go up to save, and we're going to say save. So in a lot of my videos, I've been, you know, thinking totally of dimensioning. I should be saving earlier. You know, these videos aren't too long. But remember, if you are working on something that's going to take some time, let's get into the habit of saving early as often as we possibly can. So this has been a video for how to go about creating a fully dimensioned drawing of number 8 from your 20 ISOs project in Fusion 360.